All right, so I just wanted to talk about the Kyrie Irving thing. So, Kyrie Irving is anti Semitic, but it's not because he posted a video, it's because of his responses afterwards. It would be the same thing as if I had posted a video of Hitler calling the Jewish people a disease. Now, if I post a link to the video, that does not mean that I support it. But what makes the difference on it and why it is anti Semitic is because he had the opportunity on multiple occasions to denounce it. And then afterwards, what ended up happening was he didn't denounce it until he got in trouble. That's like a child who gets in trouble for lying and they don't say they're sorry until after you put them in the corner, until after you spank them. They're not sorry that they said it. They don't disagree with what they did. The reason they're apologizing is because they got in trouble. And on that note, on the black Hebrew Israelites and their racistness and prejudice, let me give three reasons why what they say is false, biblically speaking. First, biblically, it said that his hair was white like wool. Not that it was as wool, but it was white like wool, like a gray hair. That doesn't mean it has the same texture. Secondly, it said that his skin was as fine or refined brass as if it had been purified through burning. Brass is not dark. Middle Eastern, that's what it would have been, not African, based on the color of brass. So he's not white, he's not black, he's Middle Eastern. And lastly, he was born in the Middle East. This is simple. And then the secondary part of why they're racist and prejudiced. Black Hebrew Israelites, two things that they believe that are both racist and prejudiced. Number one, they don't believe that there is spiritual ability for a white person to make it to heaven because they believe that the spirit dwells in the melanin, in the skin. So if you are pure white, you ain't got no melanin. Yeah, so well, shoot out of luck. Also, they believe every black person is Hebrew. That's false. Scriptural references say that. Joseph was brought up in Egypt, and that was in Genesis, because he had first been sold into slavery by his family, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened, but he was able to interpret a dream and save Egypt, became second in line. At one point during his saving of Egypt, his family came forward because they ran out of food, and so they had to buy from Egypt. They didn't recognize him among the Egyptians. That means two things. One, he had to have been black because he had to be the same skin tone as the Egyptians for them to not notice it's their brother. If I see my brother and I see a whole bunch of Africans, I'm going to know a difference. That's number one. He thought he was Egyptian. The family thought he was Egyptian. Number two, that also shows that the Egyptians and the Israelites, two separate people, not the same people, but both are black. If you look at all of Africa, it all stems from some African black. Cool. So what? That doesn't make them Jewish. You got Ethiopians. You got Zimbabwe. You got so many areas that have black people that are not Jewish. Judaism comes from Israeli or the line of Jacob, however you want to take it. Also could be location based, but it's not black. Now, with that being said, I'm personally 97% Jewish. My brother did one of those blood test things. That's pretty damn Jewish. But anyways, none of what they believe lines up with the Bible, and the part that they leave out in those videos is the actual determinations and where they get their facts from. It's kind of like me telling you the sky is blue. Okay, cool, that's true. So Jewish people were black, sky is blue, but I don't tell you why they're black. I don't tell you why it's blue. I just assume that, well, the sky is always blue, instead of telling you it's because of the reflection of light off of the oceans and other things, which is why it gets red during a fire. But anyways, point is, it's not necessarily that he is anti-Semitic at heart, but he is learning from people that are anti-Semitic, and he's not doing the research. This is what happens when you don't do the research. Every time I see a debate between a Christian and a non-Christian, the Christian don't know any of the history or science. So why should we be surprised that he does that? And at the same time, as towards Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, well, they hold some anti-white views with white privilege. If you look up what that means and what that is, that holds two parts. Three in total, but two main ones. That's why I put up the third finger. The two main ones is it's racist against white people and it's racist against black people at the same time. It's racist against white people because it assumes you only got it because of your skin tone. In other words, you are not good enough to be in the position. So you're degrading a white person based on their skin tone. It's also racist to black people because you are saying their skin is not as valuable as the skin of a white person, which is bullcrap, especially in today's day and age. But because of that, you are degrading the skin of a black person and you are degrading the ability of a white person because of them being white or black. And no, I'm not saying people of color because there ain't no difference between people of color and colored people. It's the same term, just backwards. Still racist. And what do they use the term for? In the University of Chicago, they got a BIPOC and non-POC cafe. You know what that stands for? Biracial, indigenous people of color, and non-people of color. In other words, they got a white cafe and a colored cafe. By their own terminology. How is that different from a white water fountain and a colored water fountain? So anyways, back to the main point about Kyrie Irving. Yes, he is anti-Semitic in his views at this point because he's learning from anti-Semitic people. But, well, and racist. But anyways, but if we're going to also get rid of him, then you need to get rid of Skip Bayless. You need to get rid of Shannon Sharp. You need to get rid of everybody on there who is putting out anti-white racism and anti-black racism and anti-Jewish racism and anti-trans subjects and anti-straight subjects and anti-men subjects. If we're going to delete everybody because they have a different point of view, there's going to be no one left in the world because none of us agree on everything. We all disagree on something. It's kind of like the R. Kelly situation. In the aspect of this, R. Kelly, should he be in prison? Yes, but only under the condition that the parents are in jail too, because they signed a non-disclosure agreement. I don't know if y'all know what NDA is. It means you agree to get some recompense or to get paid or some type of way, something is coming to you as a benefit in order that you agree that you not speak about something that was done wrong. That's an NDA. Well, what was the problem that happened? He had sex with minors. So here's the thing. By the parents doing that, they have now made their children into prostitutes because you agreed to a settlement or else money for the sex of your children with R. Kelly. So if we're going to get rid of Kyrie, we need to get rid of everybody else. If we're not going to get rid of Kyrie, or if we're not going to get rid of everybody else, we shouldn't be getting rid of Kyrie. You can't fix problems by shoving them under the rug. You fix them by bringing them to the light and showing what's the facts and having a discussion. So with that all being said, that's my take on the Kyrie Irving situation. And I hope y'all do research and I hope y'all are having discussions, not arguments. If you're stuck in an argument, you're not listening, the other person's not listening, and the whole point of it is mute. Because at the end of the argument, you still feel the same, they still feel the same, and nothing has changed except for maybe you're mad at each other. So if it's not a discussion, it's pointless. But just because he apologized doesn't take away the wrong, and just because he's in the wrong doesn't mean we should cancel him. Unless he is calling for violence, how can you dispute a subject you don't know exists? If we are constantly taking all the subjects we don't like and putting them on the back and making them where nobody could talk about it, what's going to end up happening is that you're, as we already have seen, you got the Democrats believe in one side, you got the Republicans believe in another side, and they don't even live in the same reality anymore. Neither of them live in reality, and both of them think they're the savior. So, with all that being said, yes, Kyrie, you were anti-Semitic. Yes, your apology, bullcrap, because you didn't do it until you were actually disciplined. And lastly, no, you should not have been taken off. You should have just been willing to hear both sides instead of just learning one-sided, which was actually racist prejudice, and not doing no research. But you're not the only one. So with all that being said, I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope everything goes well, and I'll see y'all in the next video.